Hi friends, welcome to Bitcoingem channel. I hope you all are doing great. So in this video, we are going to interact with Firdosh. Firdosh Sheikh is CEO and co-founder of Drife. We have already seen my thoughts on Drive. I've introduced this Drive project to you guys. And today we are lucky to have Firdosh with us over here so that we can interact directly with her. We can ask all the questions that we have for this project. And so I welcome all of you and I welcome Firdosh. Firdosh, welcome to Bitcoin Gem community.
Thank you so much.
So Firdosh, let's begin. If just in your words, if you want to introduce Drive, what inspired you to start Drive, and what's your main passion with Drive? What do you see with Drive?
My journey, started long back when actually the ride-sharing platform were introduced in this whole industry as a whole.
Right.
I am someone who was very scared of public transport and started using Uber and Ola. That's a very prominent ride-sharing application in India.
Correct.
When I was 16-year-old, and that was the time when they were introduced. Always used them
Right.
to commute from one place to another. But for me, it was about convenience, and for all of us, it is about convenience, and we really don't pay much attention to what's happening because it was a boom in this whole industry.
Correct.
But late in 2018, when I moved to Bangalore in India, and I was traveling with this driver, he picked me up for my midnight trip to airport. As soon as I got into the cab, the driver asked me to cancel the trip. And that
Okay.
was a and I asked a very basic question that everyone asks in that situation is why. And that's where I got to know about the huge problems that driver community face and all the issues that they're facing and how they feel stuck in that vicious circle of
Right.
paying huge commission.
Right.
And that was the day it got stuck badly in my head. And I thought like why there exists a problem, because we all heard about stories where drivers were doing really good and ride sharing platform did really good for driver community.
Right.
So that's where I started speaking with every other driver I was traveling with. I've spoken with 1,000+ drivers before I decided I wanted to do drive. And I started with a very basic idea of building something where you don't charge commission and give driver 100% ownership. But with
Right.
time, I realized the problem is just not about commission. The problem is bigger than what we can see from our eyes. And that's where I realized, when a ride sharing company has a profit motive in the fare that a rider pays,
Hmm.
they will tend to manipulate or exploit the ecosystem for their own profit motive, which is what is happening now. And that's how the whole decentralized version of Uber came in place, where we said, like, we want to build a ride sharing platform where driver and riders are not only sharing value among themselves, but are also sharing reward among themselves without a third party taking a share from the ride fare. And
Right.
that's what Drive is all about, a decentralized ride sharing platform which connects drivers and riders directly with each other without the existence of a middleman.
Correct.
Um, the whole idea is very close to my heart because the stories that I heard from drivers about how their livelihood is impacted and how they still struggle with when we say like a lot of digital evolution has happened and a lot of transformation is happening because of the technological upgrade. But if a common man who is dependent on riding or being a taxi driver for his life is life, if his life is still not better, there is something wrong. So the whole idea of having this whole companies, and now if you look at Uber, Ola, or any other ride sharing company that exists, they are multi-billion-dollar companies. But if
True.
you look back at the value creators, if they're still struggling to make their livelihood, it itself says that something is wrong, something is broken and need attention.
True.
So here we are.
Great. Great, Firdosh. For listeners around the world, Ola is a very similar app to Uber. So Ola is like Uber in India, India specific. So great, Firdosh. I in fact want to talk a lot about Drive with you and a lot about Web3. But today's
Mhm.
podcast we will uh, restrict it only to Drive and it only from the perspective of investors. So just to give you a
Mm-hmm.
gist, Bitcoingem community today is almost of 6,000 plus people, and
Mm-hmm.
we are into crypto since 3 years. We, in fact, lot of us are, in fact, since 2016. But forming a Bitcoin Gem community, we are into crypto since 3 years, and we look
Mm-hmm.
for projects that are low cap and that uh, are really real world use cases, and we can, our community can benefit by investing in them. So my
Mm-hmm.
questions today are going to be completely from that perspective of how investors can come in Drive and what is the benefits that they can get. So I have
Mm-hmm.
also asked a lot in the community on our Telegram channel of the questions that they have, and
Mm-hmm.
combining everything and combining my own little research that I could do on Drive in this
Mm-hmm.
limited time, I have formed certain questions, and I would love to get your answers on that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure.
the first question is, uh, currently you are operating in Bangalore city in India. So
Yes.
in this year, are there any more plans to open new cities, or is this year going to be only focusing on Bangalore?
So if again, to educate the community more, Drive is a platform, first ride sharing platform, first actually a Web3 application which is also decentralizing operations.
Right.
So we will not be someone who will be taking up the operation across the globe for Drive, and that's the beauty of Drive, that we can be in so many different part of the globe with no time, with the perfect set of people who wants to take up the operation. So we
Right.
have a lot of requests, not only for Indian cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Pune, to start the operation, but we have also requests from across the globe. We have 20 plus cities in line where people want to take up the operation, and a lot of people who have showed interest, they also come from ride sharing background.
Okay.
We have people who were veterans of Uber, Lyft, and other companies who have showed interest and want to take up the franchisee of
Okay.
Drive to run operations. This quarter specifically, we will pay attention only to Bangalore, because Bangalore is the model city, is the
Right.
only city where we will be running operations. So we are paying all the attention, and we are also treating Bangalore as the first franchisee, because you need to understand, in the Web3 space, also nobody has done decentralized franchising or decentralized operations. So it's a bit tricky process.
Right.
So we want to do everything for Bangalore this quarter, and then we will be able to deliver it for all the requests that we have in place. For sure, we want to expand to other cities in India for which we have requests, but we will also be going outside India this year itself.
Oh, great. That is great. So you already have 20 plus cities in as in you have requests from cities across
Across
the
the
globe.
globe. Yes, yes.
That's really encouraging. Amazing. So the next question is that with respect to the Drive price action,
Mm-hmm,
to be honest, I came to know about Drive very recently, and
mm-hmm,
but there I got a message from few people who had early also seen about Drive, and they were asking
mm-hmm,
that what is the reason that you see the price action of Drive where the value of the token has fallen considerably down. Now personally I
mm-hmm,
understand, being in crypto, that almost every crypto including Bitcoin goes through a value chain where there are extreme volatilities, and for a new
mm-hmm.
project I do understand, but our listeners would like to hear it directly from you.
Sure. So I'll give you twofold answer to this, and I get to hear this question a lot. So first
Right.
thing is, we're a real world project.
Right.
Our token has a real world utility as well. It is not a token which will just be used to, stake your token or earn certain APYs or just trade on the different exchanges. DRF is not that.
Hmm.
It's a real world token which will be used within the platform. So as of now, because we don't have TRF utility, which is a real world utility, that's
Hmm.
why we saw, early investors who invested and they took their profits and they went out. That's what happened with everyone, and that's the harsh reality, and I
Right.
accepted that reality for myself. And that's why we saw that price action, or the price going down. And to be frank enough, it didn't impacted me as much as it should have impacted any other project, because I'm not building something for a shorter run.
Hmm.
A lot of project, 90% of project we see, they have a very short life cycle of 6 months or a maximum of a year. And that's where we see the price pumping so high, and then everybody dumps and it's over. Drive is not that project. I've spent 2 years just building this platform. So we are not here for short term, and that's the reason a lot of people in the crypto space also look at a lot of projects from a short term perspective only. And that's
Right.
why I always say that we are here for long term. The token is here for long term. So don't look at the short term performance that we have, because all everything that you see has happened before we actually launched the first city. Okay, this is the first city we have launched. So and we have plans of integrating DRF into the Drive ecosystem, where drivers and riders will be able to use the DRF token. The whole franchisee model of decentralized operation that we have is based on DRF only. So the only way you can get access to run a franchisee will be through DRF token.
Right.
So it's from our side as well that we haven't introduced the utilities that DRF token has. As soon as we'll start introducing it, it will be a different game that we will be in, because I'll say we haven't introduced the utility yet. It is also on us, and also on the community to believe in a long-term project and a real-world project. There's also this hesitant among the people to actually, bet on a real-world project, because you have also not seen a lot of them.
Right. True. True. That's great, Firdosh. The next question is, of course, about passive staking opportunities. So,
Mhm.
are there any new staking coming for Drive where investors can stake their DRF and earn passive income?
Yes, so the first year, like we did multiple in the past. The one that is coming this week itself is an LP staking with 150% APY. But
Yep.
after that, the first franchisee staking is also, that is something that's going live, which is the franchisee staking for Bangalore as a city. So you will be able to stake your DRF to get access to the profit sharing from the franchisee operation plus APYs, and you'll also be able to participate in different processes of running a franchisee. So first is coming in LP staking, and after that will come a franchisee staking, which will be one of its first in kind, where you'll be able to not only earn normal APY, but also share from the revenue that will be generated from the city operations.
This is really unique. This is really unique. So, how does franchisee staking work? Like, if I have to select a franchisee where I stake tokens.
So as of now, there's only one franchisee that we are running, that is Bangalore franchisee. So you
Right.
can delegate your token for the franchisee staking, and you get a share from the revenue pool that we share with the people who stake on that for that specific franchisee. Now you don't only get the APY that we decide to give for that specific franchisee, but also a revenue sharing that
Got
you
it.
will be eligible to get. But with time, more franchisee coming in, you'll be able to stake even before that franchisee goes live. Uh,
That's right. And also, like, do I have, as a staker, do I have a governance power in some sort of way in the franchisee
Yes, so
staking?
every city franchisee that you stake, you get to participate, vote, and also propose.
Oh, great.
That will be there for sure.
That's really nice. Amazing. One of the most asked questions, and I am sure everybody you also directly communicate will be asking you, is what are the
Mhm.
new exchange listings?
So yeah, this is a question that I've been hearing.
Yeah.
There are exchange listing that we are working on, and as I mentioned before, also we were supposed to do a listing this month, which was very much aligned with our DRF integration within the platform, and that was specifically Indian exchanges that we were working with.
Okay.
But if you guys might have heard about the few things with the UPI integration, and there was like. People announced about the UPI integration, and then they have to stop because of some government issues.
True.
And Indian exchanges also had some, notices coming in, and that's where the process slowed down. So we have paused it for now till the time they have some clarities. And specifically, we being an Indian project, we have to be very careful about what Indian government or what kind of notices can be served to us, being an
Correct.
Indian company getting registered on an Indian exchange.
Right.
Because my priority is Indian exchange for everything that we have in pipeline for DRF within the Drive ecosystem now.
Correct. So currently, are you listed on any Indian exchange or no?
Not yet, not yet.
Okay. Okay. All right. And any international exchanges in pipeline or they?
We
Yeah.
have, it's just we want to align both the listing together, and that's why we have paused it.
All right. Okay. Great. I was going through your app and there's something that I read about and I wanted you to, if you can shed some more light on it. That was
Mhm.
proof of ride.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is proof of ride?
So proof of right is a concept which allows you to earn DRF when there is a movement. Okay, and this is beyond drive. This is a concept that we have in place which can be used by any mobility platform, where your platform user will start earning DRF when they move from one place to another. We started getting a lot of requests from traditional mobility platform where they said, maybe I don't want to go to blockchain, I don't want to create my own cryptocurrency, but I know my audience are interested in knowing the crypto aspect of a industry and how it works. So can we integrate DRF with
Right.
our platform? So that's where the whole concept of proof of right came in place, where any existing mobility platform will be able to integrate DRF as a loyalty point for their users. So it will actually make us reach more users who uses different mobility platforms.
This is again very exciting and unique. It will be a win-win situation where everybody does not have to create their own crypto and Drive can
Yes,
be the leading play in the Web3 mobility space. This is amazing. That's right.
yes.
The next question is, of course, how many currently drivers are active in Drive? And
So
yeah,
we have onboarded around 6,000 drivers till date.
okay,
And we are also doing a mega activation across Bangalore. So if you go around, say, airport or some very specific location where you see the maximum crowd, you'll see drive kiosk there. So we are onboarding a lot of driver. The idea is this quarter we will be doing 12,000 new onboarding for drivers.
oh, that's great. That's great. And what growth are you seeing? Like, how are the drivers? How are you approaching drivers? Or the how are drivers getting connected to you? As you rightly said, and I personally experienced this in India also, that when you book a cab and a lot of time your cabs get cancelled, and I've interacted with a lot of drivers, and I agree on this, and I'm sure everybody across the world agrees on this. Wherever this problem exists, that drivers tend to complain that they get less paid. So you are exactly hitting to the nail. So how are drivers approaching you or how are drivers coming to know about Drive?
So obviously we have our own partners and drivers are, so we got few drivers in place who are now the ambassadors for Drive, and they are bringing new drivers, and that's how it is working. We are not getting promoters or business unit from our side to approach to driver. It is drivers approaching drivers who work directly with us, and they are able to communicate the values, what Drive stands for, and how you as a driver's lives get changed when you shift to Drive. And obviously it cannot be a overnight shift, it has to be a gradual shift. So drivers are very excited about Drive as a platform. They get really excited when you get into a Drive cab and ask about the Drive as a platform. They tell you about how they make more money when it is compared with Uber or other ride sharing platform that they have, because they get to earn the 100% of the fare.
Right.
So that way also it's helping us a lot, because drivers are able to communicate this with other drivers also. So the kind of attention and the kind of attraction that we have got from drivers is really amazing.
Okay, that's great. Any targets do you have in your plan that by year end you want to get these many drivers on board or?
So the idea is, I'll only speak about Bangalore as a city because that's the city we are responsible for the operation. 50,000 driver is what we are targeting by this year end.
Oh, that's great. And this is amazing. This is amazing. Also, I wanted to know, how do riders earn in this ecosystem?
Yeah, so when we started looking at the problem statement and the psychology of rider,
Hmm,
we realized there is one thing about any consumer psychology is they're indifferent between two platforms. The only thing they care about is the price,
hmm,
and whichever platform is cheaper, they will go to that platform. They're not loyal to platforms. They're not loyal to a ride sharing platform specifically,
correct.
because at the end of the day, it will be the same driver who's going to pick them up,
True.
be it one or the other platform. Their experience going to be same. So we wanted to play on the experience part of it and give them more than a ride.
Hmm,
And just because we don't charge any commission from the ride fare, the 100% of the fare goes to the driver. We created a unique referral model where everybody who is a participant in that network get to earn every ride that happens in the platform. So we have a referral model where 98% of the ride fare goes to the driver who took the ride, but 2% is divided between driver referral and rider referral. And that's a lifetime referral that you get to earn from your network. So if you're a rider, okay, and you get 10 more people from your community to download Drive application, every time they will make a ride, you will get to earn 1% of their ride fare. It's a
okay.
lifetime earning, and it is
That's
also for drivers. And the best part of Drive is there's a cross referral that exists. And believe me, most of the riders that we got through referral are through drivers. So our drivers are referring a lot of riders to the platform, because they get to earn the referral fee. They get to earn from the fare that their rider is going to pay in the future. So most of
that's
our referrals are coming from driver referring riders.
that's amazing. And I think that can be the winning point. Like, if drivers take on
Exactly.
drive,
Yeah,
then I think they are your best ambassadors.
exactly.
That's really great. What are your plans for metaverse? I did read about something about metaverse on your. So, what are your plans for
Yes. So
metaverse?
again, for a very reason that we're the only mobility startup, at least I know, in the Web3 space, and we were like we are friends with a lot of metaverse projects also. And then we
Right.
started looking at the concept where there is nothing about mobility in the metaverses, and that's where the idea came. Like, why don't we become the brands for different kind of mobility that can exist in different metaverse. There are a lot of real world metaverse also. We started doing those partnerships in place where we can have our own NFTs, which will be placed in different metaverses. Metaverse which is similar to a GTA, where you'll actually need a car to move from one place to another. Then that's a drive car that you use. Or if
Right.
you want to take a round, just look at the metaverse all around. Normally you teleport inside the metaverse, but then you are not able to see what exists in that metaverse. So we become that partner to take you around the metaverse. So those are some very interesting partnerships and very interesting collaboration that we are working on, which will not only drive just don't exist in the real world, but will also exist in the metaverse.
This is interesting. Very interesting. Great. So, Firdosh, I think we have addressed almost every major questions or query that investors
Mm-hmm.
had in mind, and I am sure they will get the clarity by your answers that you have given. How do you see Web3 as a space developing in India, given the given the current taxation uh,
Mm-hmm.
uncertainty, I can say, or the uncertainty about the overall regulation space? And still,
Mm-hmm.
I what from what little I know about that is happening currently in India, I
Mm-hmm.
am only able to see more enthusiasm and more projects coming out of India. And me personally, I'm very bullish on the Indian Web3 play. So, how is this space
Mm-hmm.
developing, according to you?
I guess it's very interesting to see different kinds of projects that are coming from India, irrespective of the fact like what kind of regulations are coming in place, or people shifting their base from India, but they are building. That nothing that has stopped us from building what we are supposed to build. Everyone's gonna do that. It's very interesting space, and specifically, we are the most talented people in the world. So, so we will obviously be the best in the Web3 space also. And I certainly believe that, people across the globe, people who will be leading the Web3 space will also come from India only. So that's there.
That's really great, Firdosh. I really wish you all the best. I am a holder of DRF, and I really hope that it turns out to be a massive transformation or revolution in the Web3 space. And I do really hope,
Yeah.
I understand the practical issues that people face, and I hope Drive becomes the number one solution for that. And of course, if Bitcoingem community is invested in Drive, then I would really hope they gain value. So, guys, this was Firdosh for you. Do comment down below. Were your questions asked, and are you 100% satisfied? Do look up to Drive, the project. Again, none of the things is an investment advice, as you all know, but we are here to back solid projects. So if you find this project valuable in your portfolio, then you should look up to Drive. And I am sure Firdosh and the entire team of Drive is always available for communication. Thank you, Firdosh, for joining us on Bitcoin Gem community, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much for hosting me. I hope I answered most of the questions that came from the community.
You did.
Thank you.
Take care, Firdosh. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.